Hello, everybody. It is a Tuesday. That means only one thing, True Crime Tuesday, right here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Today, we bring in our co-hostess. Our co-hostess is, of course, fresh off of a trip from, it would be not northern Minnesota, it'd be western Minnesota, as it were, northwestern Minnesota. So fresh off the heels of a successful trip to the Palmer House Hotel. She's intelligent, she's witty, she's funny. She's got 3 books out there on the market right now as it is. And we bring her in. Oh, and she's easy on the eyes. I have to remember that as well. She's Hindustan Times #1 best-selling author for 4 weeks in a row. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Jessica Freeburg. Hi, Jessica. How are you today?
Hey, Tim. I have a little bit of a ghost hunting hangover.
That's possible?
Just kind of tired, but, feeling a little high on happiness because it was so freaking fun.
I love that saying, high on happiness. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Yeah, I like that saying, high on happiness.
Thank you.
Yeah. I am far from high on happiness right now. Anybody who
Well,
watched...
maybe we can change that by the end of the show.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, anybody
Okay.
who watched that terrible Vikings game on Sunday night knows I'm far from that. But
Oh, yeah, I watched it until I knew we were going to lose. And then I was like, I'm going to bed.
I had to stay till the very end. You know me. I like a good car crash, Jess. I love a good train wreck.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, I was poly positivity till the very end. I was like, well, you never know. Even all the way up until like 2 minutes left. Oh, you never know. Well,
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen in the NFL, right? No, it's not true. Nothing. Not everything could happen. No, not everything. Today we're going to do a little something. Well, it's not necessarily different. We do this every time. I'll tell you what happened is we had a guest scheduled for today. Unfortunately, he's a little under the weather. He'll appear with us next week. So next week, we're going to take a look at a book called Obsessed, which has to do with one man's journey who, God love him, he's a former veteran who unfortunately had a negative experience. He himself was a victim of child abuse and child sexual abuse, and took that negative experience and then went after child sexual abusers. So went after molesters.
Awesome.
And serial molesters at that, Jess. His book is absolutely fascinating. So here's your homework for next week, folks. It's out by Wild Blue Press. And so what I'll do is I'll put the link in the description of this program so you can go get that book a week ahead of time. And when we come back next week, David McGrath is the author's name. You can come back and be fully refreshed, rested, have read the book, and know what we're talking about when we come back next week, because I've read the book already, and Obsessed is a amazing book. That's the only way I can put it. David spent, I believe it was 5 years of his life tracking down a man by the name of, now the name is slipped out of my consciousness as I'm thinking of this. Wayne Chapman, that's his name. Wayne Chapman, who is a serial rapist. That's the best way.
Yeah.
Out of Bridgewater, Massachusetts, where, again, Jess, Bridgewater should bring up a paranormal memory for you. Bridgewater Triangle.
Right. Exactly.
Right. It turns out that when he went after Wayne Chapman, he opened up Pandora's box, because pedophiles aren't just singular creatures. They network.
Ew.
So Wayne Chapman had other cohorts that were involved, and he had this whole nest of cohorts that he networked with. And David did all this investigative work, and basically, I mean, he talked with what looks like hundreds of people who were molested by everyone from a former priest to, the book is absolutely intriguing. A former priest who was a pedophile to a man who went to his grave, not revealing anything about what it was that he did, who ended up dying in Bridgewater. There's also, I believe it's Walpole is the name of the jail, which is near Bridgewater, one of the most notorious jails in Massachusetts.
Hmm.
Um, that's where some of these serial offenders went to. There's also one, it's just, oh, it's disgusting, Jess, but I'm going to mention it here on the program so people can go get obsessed, by David McGrath. It's out by, again, Wild Blue Press. There's one pedophile who ended up eating his victims. And you read about it in this book.
Oh my gosh.
It is absolutely disgusting. But
Sounds
again,
horrible, and I'm totally going to get it and read it.
it is incredibly fascinating. It's disgusting, but it's fascinating. But at the same time, you find out just how sick and disturbing humanity can be. And it is a dark book. And you find out, and it did take its toll on David. It really did.
I'm sure.
And the poor man's been through enough already. He's already got PTSD.
Right.
And he has a wife and kids. And
Well, hopefully there was something kind of healing about writing it too, actually exposing the nest of pedophiles and bringing light to something so that people can be kind of empowered by knowledge, I suppose.
well, again, you find that out in the book with David. And we'll talk with him about this journey and what it's done for him. It's at some points in the book, it's torturous for him. It's absolutely torturous. So he went through a lot to be able to, and this is the second release of this book because he's found out more information and re-released this book. So the name of the book is Obsessed. Again, it's David McGrath. And when we come back next week, we'll talk to David about this absolutely intriguing journey that he's been on to uncover a lot of this. Wayne is still alive, by the way. Wayne Chapman is
Ugh,
still alive.
yikes.
Yeah.
I hope he's rotting in a prison somewhere.
You'll find out next week exactly where he is and why he still weighs so heavily on David McGrath. It's chilling. It's absolutely chilling. Let's get to our program today. What we're going to do today is we're going to do a couple of ripped from the headline stories because last week was such a dark week for the beginning of 2025. We thought 2025, let's turn the page. 2024 for some people was an absolutely horrible year. I mean, it seems like years that end on the fours. I think I said this last week. Years that end on the fours aren't necessarily a great year. At least in my history, they aren't.
Yeah.
But normally fives aren't a bad year. But we started off on an odd foot for our country. And I've got the story here. I guess we want to start off with. So we're going to do a little rip from the headlines, and we'll jump into dumb crime, stupid criminals. That'll take up the majority of our time here. And we'll end today on a bit of a laugh. We'll start off with what a lot of people are saying is a combined attack on the country on New Year's Eve, Jess. Although the FBI and government officials are quick to say this wasn't a combined attack, that these were two individuals that operated on their own. However, if you go to social media and you go to conspiracy theorists, they say, no. This was a dry run for ISIS for later in the year, maybe as soon as the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that's scary.
And that there's more to come. Now, we'll start with the New Orleans assailant and what happened in New Orleans on New Year's Eve. The New Orleans assailant, which we'll name him here shortly, said in videos to his family that he considered killing them as well before conducting his attack on the city.
Wow.
That's a little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Messed up.
Yeah. Experts said the details that have emerged about 42-year-old Shamsud Din Jabbar align with the typical pattern of how a veteran can be radicalized to violence. This was a subject that came up in many news reports and came up in different reports throughout the week about why is it that U.S. veterans are being radicalized, whether it be for terroristic reasons or whether it be striking back at the U.S. government for whatever it is and whatever reason. Now, a U.S. Army veteran from Texas who drove to Louisiana and deliberately plowed into New Year's revelers in New Orleans recorded videos during the drive addressed to his family, in which he talked about plans to kill them before conducting the attack. Shamsuddin Jabbar said in those videos, "I wanted to record this message for my family. I wanted you to know that I joined ISIS earlier this year." I had watched a video before I go any further. I'd watched a video package with TMZ with Harvey and Charles talking to a man who knew Shamsuddin Jabbar up until about 2018. He was a lifelong friend. And there's a group of his friends that talk, I think it's like on Facebook Messenger, kind of Facebook chat. All of them say they're surprised. Everyone's always surprised. And I can throw the excuse out here as to, I think I know why. Mind you, everybody has their own life, Jess. I mean, everybody has their things going on, and not everybody keeps real deep contact with people. So it's kind of a, hey, how you doing? Great. That's great. I'm glad you're fine. You know, and they don't really want to dig or pry or really get into why things are going on. But one thing came up during this interview, and I think Harvey kind of hit it on the head. And he said, you know, the one thing that hit was COVID. When COVID happened, a lot of things happened with a lot of people. One, you were isolated. Two, a lot of people lost a lot of things financially.
Right.
And with the isolation and financial matters happening, a lot of things turned, and the worm turned with a lot of people. And with Shamsuddin Jabbar, he tried to launch a business. He tried to, I believe it was go into real estate or become some sort of a planner or organizer. At that point, his business was failing. And he had, I believe, been arrested on domestic abuse charges, and some things had gone downhill for him. At this point, it's not hard to radicalize someone when they're short on money, when they're losing their temper, when things are spiraling out of control. It's easy to meld someone's mind a different way and get them thinking a different way, make them think that they've gotten the short end of the stick and get them thinking a different way. Now, back to the story. He then added, "I don't want you to think I spared you willingly." That's a scary statement.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah. He told his family that he had first wanted to organize a celebration for them and make everyone witness the killing of the apostates, an apparent reference to killing them. A senior law enforcement official speaking on condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive information confirmed to NBC News the contents of the video, which were first opened by the New York Times. NBC News has not independently reviewed the videos. The 42-year-old Jabbar drove a rented truck from Houston to New Orleans on New Year's Eve, according to authorities, posting videos online along the way. Once he reached New Orleans' famous Bourbon Street, he planted 2 improvised explosive devices, and then he got back into his truck and plowed into revelers at around 3:15 a.m., killing 14 people before police killed him in a shootout. Experts said the details that have emerged about Jabbar align with the typical pattern of how a veteran can be radicalized to violence. In the years leading up to Wednesday's attack, Jabbar experienced his 3rd divorce, accumulated significant debt, and lost his corporate job. Divorce court records from January of 2022 reveal that he was facing business losses and credit card debt in the tens of thousands of dollars, along with more than $27,000 in overdue mortgage payments. By August of that year, his bank accounts held just $2,012, according to filings in the case. Now, he still had money in the bank. I mean, it's not the end of the world at that point, right?
Certainly not. A lot of people go through terrible periods of time like that.
Yeah, yeah. Now, while it may not have surprised experts, Jabbar's rampage has bewildered his family, his friends, and his colleagues, who describe him as kind and unassuming. "It's a complete surprise and a shock to everyone," said Jabbar's half-brother, Abdur Rahim Jabbar IV, who's all of 24 years old. He said that in an interview last week. It's not clear when Jabbar first became attracted to ISIS. Abdur Rahim Jabbar shared that their father was Muslim and Shamsuddin Jabbar's mother, who was Christian, converted when they married. Jabbar was open about his Muslim faith, but he didn't discuss it in a forceful way. And in fact, this friend that was on TMZ said the exact same thing. He never discussed his faith. In fact, he never pushed it on anybody. It was never really open for discussion. It
Mhm.
was never a thing. The two rarely talked about religion, he said, although they did discuss the war in Gaza last year. Jabbar expressed being upset about the situation, calling it genocide on both sides. After his most recent divorce, Jabbar seemed to become more devout. Though he never discussed ISIS or any radical ideologies, his half-brother described him as trying to find himself. In early 2024, Jabbar posted audio messages on SoundCloud, including one titled Satan's Voice, in which he condemned music as the voice of Satan, claiming it led people into forbidden acts like drug use and violence. All right, so there's that story. The second story, which is about Mr. Jabbar, which is quite alarming, which kind of fits into the conspiracy theory of maybe this was reconnaissance for another attack later on, maybe even the Super Bowl, and kind of backs up the conspiracy theories, is this, Jess. Now, it turns out that the attacker also recorded visits to the city weeks earlier. So this wasn't just a random act.
Yeah.
And he did it wearing those Meta smart glasses during the attack. So he first wore the glasses to record video as he rode a bicycle through the French Quarter during a trip before the Bourbon Street attack. This, according to the FBI. The glasses weren't recording during the actual incident on New Year's Eve. So the New Orleans terrorist attacker visited the city twice in the weeks before the attack and recorded video of the area using Meta smart glasses. So he actually scouted the area before he did the attack, which every smart military person does. Because they need to know the lay of the land, how to get in, how to get out, and how to know how to attack the scene. This was a measured attack.
Right. He was planning, that's for sure.
That's right. Again, 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar stayed at a rental home in New Orleans at the end of October and again in November, just weeks before his attack on Bourbon Street, which killed 14 people. He wore those smart glasses to record video as he rode a bicycle through the French Quarter. Lionel Murthill, the special agent in charge of the FBI's New Orleans field office, said that last week. Meta glasses appear to look like regular glasses, but they allow a user to record videos and photos hands-free, according to Murthill. They also allow the user to potentially live stream through their video. Jabbar wore the glasses during his New Year's Day attack, but they were not activated for a live stream, according to Murthill. There was no indication that Jabbar was recording the attack at all, though the glasses were found on him. Meta spokesperson Andy Stone told NBC News that the company was in touch with law enforcement on this matter. The FBI posted a compilation of the clips online, one of which includes Jabbar testing the glasses in a mirror and security clips of him in the area before the truck attack. The FBI blurred images of bystanders. 42-year-old Jabbar was killed in a firefight with officers after he plowed through the busy strip with a rented truck early on New Year's Day. Investigators also found that he placed 2 homemade bombs in the area before the attack, neither of which detonated. Authorities also believe Jabbar set fire to a short-term rental house on Mandeville Street in New Orleans, where bomb-making materials were found. Video showed Jabbar placing one improvised explosive device in a cooler at Bourbon and St. Peter Street at 1:53 a.m., which was moved later by unidentified people. From what we've observed so far, what we gathered through our investigation is that they were unwitting individuals who moved the cooler from location to location without knowledge of what's in the cooler. Jabbar placed another explosive roughly 30 minutes later in a different bucket type of cooler, according to authorities. 2 firearms were also recovered, a semi-automatic pistol and a rifle, according to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. They found the .308 caliber rifle was purchased in a private sale in Arlington, Texas on November 19th. The explosive material recovered at Jabbar's home in Houston resembles common explosives such as RDX, which is widely available in the U.S. Joshua Jackson, the special agent in charge of the ATF's New Orleans Field Division, said that at last Sunday's news conference. Now, federal authorities initially said Friday that field tests detected a rare explosive compound, which is called arsalt, in the 2 homemade bombs in New Orleans and in the home where Jabbar had stayed. Arsalt is a very rare compound that has not been used before in terrorist attacks in the U.S. or in Europe. Jackson said the FBI will conduct additional testing of the explosive compound found in New Orleans. He said officials believe additional tests in an FBI lab will show that the explosive compound is, in fact, pure RDX. The device itself was not unique in design, and Jabbar's use of an electric match instead of a proper detonator indicated his inexperience with explosives, according to Jackson. Jabbar is a Texas-born U.S. citizen and an Army veteran. He said in videos posted online that he joined ISIS earlier this year. He acted alone during the New Year's Day attack, the FBI says, and does not appear to have any U.S.-based accomplices. Again, that I would argue with. I don't think he acted alone. I do think he's been in touch with somebody. I think he did get some sort of guidance as to how to go about what he was doing, because the bomb in a cooler is not a common idea. The fact that he used arsalt, I think, is beyond his pay grade.
Right.
I think that was an idea that was planted for him. I think the fact that he used the combination of arsalt and RDX, again, another idea that was given to him by probably 2 different parties, and he decided to combine those. And the idea that he would have a weapon with him would suggest that he thought he was getting away clean and didn't.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I think so often, they know the government, the FBI, the investigators, they know more than they let on to us because they don't want to scare us. Because the idea of him working with other people and there's, a group of people trying to pull off more than just this one attack is very scary.
Right.
But
the other thing, too, is that Murtaugh told reporters last week that the FBI is still investigating any of Jabbar's associates, both domestic and abroad. A subject of further inquiry is a trip that Jabbar did make to Cairo in 2023 and another trip to Canada roughly a week after his return. So obviously he's been in contact with somebody that converted him. And he knows people. So he knows people. He's been converted. He has a contact. And somebody guided him to do this.
right, for sure. I agree 100%.
Yeah. So the next story has to do with the other explosion that happened on New Year's Eve, which is also another, you could argue, was another converted veteran, which makes it all the more scary.
Right.
There's an explosion at the Trump Hotel Tower in Las Vegas of a Tesla Cybertruck. Now, this was more of an attack of symbolism. Of course, you're blowing up a Tesla owned by Elon Musk in front of Trump Tower.
Right.
We get the symbolism. You don't have to be hit over the head with the board to get it as to what this is about. We have a story here from NBC News about the man involved and what that Tesla driver texted to his ex-girlfriend before the explosion outside of the Trump Hotel. Matthew Livelsberger was boasting about his rented Tesla Cybertruck to an old girlfriend on New Year's Eve, according to text messages shared by NBC News. So we'll go to that story right now.
Tonight, the motive and final days of Matthew Livelsberger coming into sharper focus.
It ultimately appears to be a tragic case of suicide involving a heavily decorated combat veteran who is struggling with PTSD and other issues.
Authorities laying out an extensive forensic accounting of the scene, explaining how they found his wallet and IDs charred but preserved under debris, displaying notes from his burned up phone, saying the Army Master Sergeant did not have any grudge against Donald Trump, but with the state of the country.
He says, fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans, time to wake up. We are being led by weak and feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves.
Authorities confirming through DNA and matching tattoos, the 37-year-old was the one inside the Tesla Cybertruck when it exploded, which they believe happened at the same time he shot himself. They also shared new images of Livelsberger at a Tesla charging station, adding data shows the car was not in self-driving mode. With questions mounting over the timing, the FBI stressing there is no known connection between Livelsberger, the New Orleans suspect, or any other terrorist organization. Meanwhile, a former girlfriend telling NBC News she received this video from the Green Beret inside what appears to be the rented Cybertruck just days before the explosion. Alicia Arrett telling NBC News the communication began with a text last week telling her he rented the Cybertruck.
I was surprised, especially when I knew he was already married, and I thought he was happy.
Arrett sharing the two dated for several years, bonding over a love of the outdoors, describing him as respectful, driven, and playful.
He was so funny. That was what caught me and drew me in. And it was just like instant chemistry with us.
The messages continued. At 9 a.m. Tuesday, Livelsberger texting, "I rented a Tesla Cybertruck. It's the expletive," followed minutes later by, "I feel like Batman or Halo." The messaging, including the video inside the truck, continuing till New Year's Eve, when Arrett says he went quiet. She found out about the bombing when she says she was contacted by the FBI.
I don't know what drove him to it. I've just been rolling it around in my head for 2 days.
Arrett says Livelsberger was never violent towards her, but often complained of extreme pain following multiple back surgeries, among other issues.
He would have headaches. He had some memory loss and trouble concentrating. I know he had some trouble.
Military records show Livelsberger won many commendations, but was never awarded a Purple Heart. He did, however, serve on multiple deployments, including Afghanistan in 2017, 2018, and 2019. Today in Las Vegas, investigators say as they search for a potential motive, the decorated veteran ended with this.
I need to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took.
Okay, so we don't need to continue on with the rest of the story here. I'll bring up something that's interesting in the story here, and that's this. The FBI comes to the girlfriend's door and says, do you want to see the video of Livelsberger and his death? So in other words, do you want to watch him essentially blow his brains out and hit the trigger and blow up the Cybertruck?
Oh my goodness.
Now, my question is here to you, Jess. You have an ex-boyfriend who's had troubles in the past. You know what's happened. You've just been told he's died. Do you actually want to see that video?
No, absolutely not. That's so sad. I hope she said no, thank you.
Yeah, she of course turned it down. She was distraught. She said they actually asked if I wanted to watch the video of him dying. Arrett said in an interview, it was awful to learn about it. Just to learn about it was awful, but I don't know why you would make that offer. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, she's already traumatized just by the idea of what happened. Nobody needs to see the actual moment that it takes place.
Yeah. Yeah. He also stated, and it wasn't stated in the news story, but Livelsberger says this is not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. I don't think you get to call the terms of what it is.
Yeah, I think it is a terrorist attack just by the nature of what he did.
Yep.
I think we're lucky that that vehicle kind of contained it. I mean, kudos to the Tesla truck, because it kind of seems like it could have been way worse, and I think it was intended to be way worse.
You're right. And you bring up a good point here, Justin. That is the way that the Cybertruck is built. The explosion went up. It didn't go out.
Yeah.
A lot of lives were saved as a result. So yeah. And I don't think he himself was thinking about that. If you're trying to send a message, there's other ways to send a message. If you're trying to get things done, there's other ways to get things done. There's other veterans that are doing amazing things and trying to get things done for veterans' rights. This isn't it.
No.
It's just not it.
No, and what are the odds like these two incidences happen just back to back like this so quickly and they're not related. That seems crazy to me.
I don't think that they aren't related. I think they are
Right.
related.
Yeah, but they're telling us they're not. So we're supposed to believe that.
Yeah. I don't think the symbolism is too deep, and we've heard too much up until the election that there's groups like Hezbollah in Iran that have it out for President Trump. So why the symbolism of the Tesla and the Trump Tower or Trump Hotel? And why pull that at the same time that you're going after New Orleans? It feels too much like 9/11 to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
Calculated, coordinated.
multiple attacks. You're right. Calculated, coordinated, and it's just meant to send a message. To me, that it is meant to send a message, except for we're a little more on our guard this time. Not as
well,
much,
I hope they amp up the security in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. I think this is really eye-opening. They were saying on the news that I think the barriers that they have can only stop a car going like 10 to 15 miles an hour. Well, if you're trying to do something bad, you're probably going to go faster than that.
The barriers that they're installing for the Super Bowl were supposed to be in that weekend. They were supposed to be for New Year's Eve, but they were behind in doing that.
Right. But even the ones when they are done, they said they don't stop a vehicle moving very fast. Like it's a slow moving vehicle, it can stop.
Right.
That truck was flying.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of it is you've got to be aware of your surroundings. You really do. You're not really, I don't think we realize, and because we do, again, don't think I'm stepping on a soapbox here and I'm yay rah-rahing things here, folks, but we really do live in the greatest country in the world, right? I mean, it's very rare we have a terrorist attack on our soil. We don't live in the Middle East where it's a common occurrence, right? But you really do have to be aware of your surroundings. I mean, think of the amount of mass shootings we have in this country. So it can happen at any time. So you have to know your surroundings. You have to be aware of what's going on. You have to look at people with a suspicious eye. That's just the way things are. So you have to be aware of what's going on, and you can't be in your phone. Unfortunately, when you're walking, you can't be in your phone. If you're in your phone, you could end up dead.
That's true.
Yeah. And this happened in the middle of the night. I mean, what, 3:30 a.m. in New Orleans? Wasn't that the time at the time it happened?
Well, I don't remember exactly. I know it was like toward the end of, everyone celebrating.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it was late. It was late. So
I'd have been in bed already.
Yeah. So you never know. You have to be aware. You just have to be aware.
Yeah, you do.
Let's take our break here. When we come back, we've got some good old-fashioned crime to report on, Jess. We've got a manhunt underway in Wisconsin for a man who, let's just put it this way, may have slaughtered 2 young girls and a woman. They were found dead inside a Wisconsin home. We'll tell you about that manhunt that's underway. A man pleads guilty to killing and dismembering 2 of his girlfriends and leaving their bodies in storage units. Like I said, good old-fashioned stuff for 2025 and much, much more. It's ripped from the headlines, the short version. When we come back right here on the best in true crime podcasting, this is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Right over there, my co-host, Jessica Freeburg. Jess, right over to our east in Wisconsin. They're getting crazy from the cold.
Yeah, it's freezing.
It is freezing out there. In fact, as I look, it's to some people, 18 degrees may seem warm, but it's crazy cold out there. And some people get a little bit of cabin fever, so much so that over in New Lisbon, investigators are searching for a man that they allege killed 2 missing young girls and a woman as they were found dead inside a residence last week when it was even colder.
Oh, yikes.
Not a good way to ring in the new year. According to New Lisbon police, On the night of December 29th, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office notified the Juneau County Sheriff's Office regarding a missing juvenile in their jurisdiction. 47-year-old Virgil Thew allegedly picked up the child, and he was the last person to see them. The following morning, New Lisbon police began working on the case and learned about a second child who disappeared from the area. On December 30th at approximately 4:29 p.m., 2 juveniles and 1 adult were found deceased inside a home on West Bridge Street. New Lisbon police said the children were 12 and 13 years old. That was it.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And officials identified the adult as 33-year-old Elizabeth Kolba. Officers did not specify whether the 2 girls were found dead inside the residence and if they were the juveniles reported missing. Thew, who was wanted through Wisconsin probation and parole, is on the run and has not been seen since January 1st. New Lisbon police announced Thew has a warrant out for his arrest on 3 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. He's considered armed and dangerous. By the way, if you are watching us on video in Wisconsin, this is what Mr. Thew looks like. So,
Oh, gosh. If I saw him, I would not think he was a murderer. He looks
no. Mm-mm.
just like a normal dude.
He does look like a normal dude, doesn't he? Yeah, he's kind of got that face that, that he just looks like somebody you'd see at the hardware store.
Yeah. Or my accountant, even. He looks a little.
He looks like your accountant.
He looks like my accountant. Wait a second.
Your accountant looks like he spends a lot of time at home. Like he's probably doesn't go into the office very often. Just saying. This guy does not look like your accountant. I'm just saying. This man pled guilty to killing and dismembering 2 of his girlfriends. I want to know how many girlfriends he has. Okay, I'm going to show you his picture right off the bat. Does this guy look like he's pulling tail?
Oh, gosh. He looks crazy.
Does he have that bad boy look to you?
I mean, he looks psychotic. Does that qualify as bad boy?
I don't know. Does he have that look that says, you know what, women come home with me?
No, he has the kind of eyes that make you think he wants to actually dismember you. So,
Oh, okay. Is that hot to women? I'm not sure.
No. Well, not me, but maybe some. I don't know. Some
No?
people like danger.
Some people thrive on danger. I guess. Well, guess what, Jess? He's right around the corner. He's in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Oh, no. What?
Well, I told you it's cold here. You gotta snuggle.
Super.
You gotta snuggle up to somebody when it's cold, right?
To snuggle with my dogs, Tim.
41-year-old man will likely spend the rest of his life in prison. Let's hope he does, for killing and dismembering 2 of his girlfriends, both of whom went missing over the course of 2 years and leaving their remains in a storage unit. Please, God, don't let it be the one where I have my stuff. Just saying. Court records show Joseph Jorgensen pleaded guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder for the deaths of, I believe this is Manajay Mani Starin and Fanta Zayavong. The Minnesota Star. I'm back in the 80s now. The Minnesota Star Tribune, back when it was the Minneapolis Star Tribune, is back when I read it. Reports Jorgensen will get 40 years in prison for each count, with the terms running concurrently. His formal sentencing is scheduled for February. Starin's family reported her missing to the St. Paul Police Department on May 1st of 2023, saying that they had not heard from her since April. Investigators went to Starin's apartment and found blood inside. That evidence and video surveillance led them to identify Jorgensen as a suspect in her disappearance. St. Paul SWAT team members attempted to apprehend Jorgensen on June 26th of 2023, but he started a fire inside and fought with the responding officers. Oh, he's a Billy Badass, isn't he? Let's just light the place on fire and go to war.
That's right.
Wow. Law enforcement eventually detained him and discovered additional blood evidence in his home. On June 28th of 2023, St. Paul police executed a search warrant at a storage facility where they found human remains. The remains were positively identified the next day as Starin's. According to Jorgensen's probable cause statement, investigators spoke with a man who has a child with Starin, and he was very concerned for Starin's safety. Starren reportedly told the man, who was identified as SS, oh God, that doesn't tell him who that is, does it? That Joe had once wrapped a rope around her neck and things got out of hand and she ran from the apartment. Other neighbors reportedly noticed marks and bruises on Starren's body prior to her disappearance. Surveillance footage last showed Starren running from the apartment on April 21st of 2023, and Jorgensen followed her. He reportedly grabbed her, turned her around, and pushed her back into the apartment. She was not seen alive after that. Video reportedly caught Jorgensen walking in and out of Starren's apartment, and on one occasion, leaving with duffel bags. The probable cause statement said Jorgensen made multiple purchases using Starren's EBT card in the weeks following her disappearance. In June of 2023, investigators searched Jorgensen's browser history and found he Googled topics such as jugular, how to clear cookies from an Android phone, what do police do with a missing persons report, and lime for soil. Lime for soil for 500, Alex.
Ew.
Yeah. Lime can reportedly help reduce the smell of decomposition, as we found out when we had our guest on last week with John Wayne Gacy. In May of 2023, Jorgensen's apartment manager reportedly received complaints from other tenants about a foul smell from Jorgensen's apartment. The manager and a maintenance worker went to Jorgensen's apartment to inspect it, but Jorgensen was verbally hostile and he physically denied access to a bedroom where the smell seemed to be coming from. Later that day, the manager and maintenance workers saw Jorgensen dragging bags out of his apartment and noticed that he looked like he was carrying a dead body. Investigators reportedly found blood in Jorgensen's closet where the smell came from, as well as signs of recent maggot activity. Merry Christmas to you.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Starren's dismembered body was located in coolers and wrapped in plastic in the storage unit. The probable cause statement noted great care had been taken to wrap the remains. Detectives discovered Zayavong's body in 2023 while searching for Starren. Zayavong was last seen in September of 2021. The Minnesota Star-Tribune reports her hands reportedly were tied behind her back and her remains were placed in styrofoam boxes. This guy sounds like a winner. Jorgensen reportedly said in court on Thursday, January 2nd, that he had killed Starren by choking her after she asked him to get out of her apartment. As for Zayavong, he reportedly hit her in the head with his knee while he was very drunk. He admitted, I did feel bad about it immediately afterwards, but my intent at that time was to kill her. Nice guy. Ramsey County Attorney John Choi reportedly said in a statement, these heinous acts of cruelty took the lives of two young women and forever altered the future of their friends and family. St. Paul Police Chief Axel Henry shared, a community is safer today because a monster has been brought to justice. We can't undo the past, but we can try and help secure the future. My God. That's all I got to say about that.
Wow. Just down the street, Tim.
Just down the road, Jess. Yeah.
Scary.
It's a good thing he's locked up, huh?
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah. Well, if you thought it got any easier today, it doesn't. We got this and two more stories for you here on a shorter version of Ripped from the Headlines today. A North Carolina man is accused of killing his mom and attacking a bondsman with an axe after failing to appear in court. See, all you got to do, Jess, is just show up for court. Your bondsman has your back, but it turns out this guy didn't want to do so he just picked up an axe.
Oh gosh, there you go. There's a decision.
It's a decision, not a good one, but it's a decision. You're right about that.
Yes.
We go to Hoke County, North Carolina, where authorities recently arrested a 46-year-old man on a suspicion of killing his 73-year-old mother and attacking a bail bondsman with an axe. According to the Hoke County Sheriff's Office on Monday, December 16th, a bail bondsman called 911 to report an assault in progress against another bail bondsman, as well as an unresponsive woman. Official told WNCN-TV that the bondsmen were at Caleb Jones's home after he failed to show up for court for various charges, including violating a domestic violence protective order, communicating threats, and fleeing to elude arrest. The bondsman who called 911 reported an altercation between Jones and his mother, Linda Hall. Following the fight, Jones allegedly went after the bondsman, and the reporting party said the other had been hit with an axe in the upper body area. Ow! Getting hit with an axe doesn't seem like a good time.
It sounds terrible. I'd probably rather be hit with almost anything else except a machete.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying. Yes. The victims were transported to hospitals, and Hall was airlifted for further treatment, but died from her injuries. Jones reportedly barricaded himself inside the home, but authorities later took him into custody and transported him to a hospital. Jones faces charges of second-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and 2 counts of assault, inflicting serious injury with intent to kill. He was arrested on December 23rd last year and booked into the Hoke County Detention Center with a bond of over $1.77 million. Try and find a bondsman for that one. That's what I say.
Good luck.
Good luck. Most bondsmen don't like axes. I'm just saying. So, good luck in trying to find that one. All right. Second to the last story here in Ripped from the headlines. This one has to do with a deli in Harlem, where a woman is charged with murder after a postal worker is stabbed to death in that Harlem deli. We go to Harlem, Manhattan. A woman has been charged after a U.S. Postal Service worker was stabbed and killed inside a deli while on the job in Harlem on Thursday afternoon. 24-year-old Jaya Cruz of Harlem was charged with second-degree murder and first-degree manslaughter in the death of 36-year-old Ray Hodge III, according to police. Officers responded to the deli at 168 Lenox Avenue after 2:30 p.m. and found Hodge stabbed or slashed multiple times inside the deli, including in the torso, arms, back, and neck. Ow.
Dang.
And the worst place to get sliced is in a deli. I'm just saying, because they've got multiple implements.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too ironic.
And they're sharp. There's no dull implements in an alley, in a deli, or in an alley, one or the other. He was taken to New York City Health and Hospitals in Harlem, where he was pronounced dead. Police say the attack appears to have stemmed from a dispute between 2 customers over who ordered first, and then it turned physical. That's why you take a number. I'm just saying, take a number. It solves the problem every time. A weapon has been recovered in the melee. I know the guys that deliver mail, said resident Uzo Guchiyashi. And just like this, he's gone. It's very scary. It's very, very scary, he went on to say. Eyewitness News spoke to a friend of the person of interest, and while she did not know what or why this happened, she said it's not in her friend's character to have attacked someone without a reason. She said her friend wouldn't have hurt someone unless provoked. She's a nice young lady. She's not the type that just comes out in the street and attacking people, the friend said. That's a direct quote, by the way. That's not my improper English. This is just a bad neighborhood. What happened? I have no idea because I was not around yet. I don't know, but I do know if she said it was in self-defense, it was in self-defense.
Okay.
But one of the guy was a postal worker. What was he going to swing? His mailbag?
Right. Yeah. If he didn't have a weapon, then killing him was not an appropriate level of defense.
Right. Meanwhile, a group of distraught postal workers arrived on the scene, solemn and visibly shaken, struggling with how to process what happened to their colleague. Postal worker Kathy Singleton said, "All I'm going to say is he was a nice young man, and that's it." They say he went into the deli to buy a sandwich when the confrontation unfolded. Deli workers had a similar account, telling Eyewitness News that the dispute was over a sandwich and who placed their order first.
Wow.
To die over a sandwich.
Wow. Or to kill someone and ruin your life. Like,
yeah. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service, or USPIS, released a statement confirming that the postal worker was assigned to Manhattan and was a victim of a homicide. USPIS takes matters involving the safety and well-being of Postal Service employees as a top priority. We're working diligently with the NYPD on this investigation, the statement said. It's unclear what weapon the postal worker was stabbed and slashed with. Cruz was arraigned on Friday and held without bail. Her next court date is scheduled, well, for January 8th, which is literally tomorrow.
Yeah, coming right up.
I wonder if federal charges enter into that, because that's a federal employee that you took on.
True. Yeah, that's a good question, Tim.
And murder of a federal employee would have in the past been the death penalty, but President Biden took the death penalty off the table. So it would be life in prison.
Well, either way, goodbye.
I like how you wrap that up. Either way, goodbye. All right. This one is borderline, and this is where we're going to end things today on Ripped from the Headlines, because it could be a dumb crime from a very stupid criminal or potential criminal. These types of lawsuits, and this is in the lawsuit vein, have always perplexed me. It has to do with power and money, Jess. Because this man is not, first of all, this man is uglier than sin. Second of all, he's got a little bit of money. And third,
Okay.
whenever someone with power and money tries to throw around this type of power in general, which I don't consider it much power, it always makes me go, what? Here's the headline. Skip Bayless. Are you familiar with him over at Fox Sports Network?
Oh yeah. Okay.
He's got the show Undisputed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, if those of you in the audience who aren't familiar with what he looks like, this is him right here. He looks like he's older than Methuselah. And he shouts a lot, right?
He looks kind of like that guy. I can't think of his name, but he was always super tan back in the 80s. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Super tan in the 80s.
He was an actor and he had a very similar looking face and he was just looked like bacon all the time. I'm gonna have to find it.
If Bacon were angry, that'd be Skip Bayless. Yeah. So the lawsuit accuses Bayless, then a Fox Sports host, of trying to pressure the hairstylist that he was with, or not that he was with, but that was working with him, into trying to give him sex for $1.5 million. Basically, he said, hey, honey, you want to service me for $1.5 million?
No. That's a pretty decent offer.
Yeah. Do you want to F
a lot of money?
Yeah. Do you want to F some angry bacon for $1.5 million?
The answer is no.
Right.
If you're a prostitute and that's your job,
then that would
fair
be
price.
Fair
price.
Fair price. That's fair market value for effing bacon. But an angry bacon at that. But anybody with half a brain and some taste would say, no, are you kidding me? No, I don't care how closely I work with you. No. Well, longtime television sports firebrand Skip Bayless is accused of making repeated unwanted sexual advances and offering $1.5 million to have sex with a former Fox Sports hairstylist, according to a lawsuit filed by the woman. The lawsuit, filed Friday in Los Angeles, accuses Bayless, that a Fox Sports host, of trying to pressure plaintiff Nushin Faraji into a sexual relationship, including allegedly offering her $1.5 million for sex after she told him of a cancer scare in 2021. So he was a predatory sex offender.
Wow, you seem sad. How about I take advantage of you?
Right. Oh,
nice.
You might have cancer. Well, you're going to die anyways. How about I biff you for $1.5 million? That'll pay the medical bills.
What a puke.
Doesn't that seem scummy?
Super scummy, Tim.
That's horrible. I mean, it'd be nice of you just to say, hey, you know what? I could take care of that for you. I could take care of the bill for you. Not a problem. And leave it alone.
No strings attached.
Right. No strings attached. Hey, you know what, Nushin? Why don't I take care of the bill? You do such a good job on my frizzy Brillo pad hair on top of my fried up bacon body. Maybe I could see my way to helping you. The lawsuit was first reported by Front Office Sports. NBC News, which I'm reading from right now, does not typically identify people who allege sexual misconduct unless they have publicly identified themselves, as Faraji did in the lawsuit, and we identified her as well. In a statement, Fox Sports says, we take these allegations seriously and have no further comment at this time, given this pending allegation and litigation. An attorney for Bayless did not immediately respond to an email and text message seeking comment on Monday, other than we're ashamed to take the case. No, I'm just kidding. The lawsuit also names popular host Joy Taylor, accusing her of telling the plaintiff to get over it when Fox Sports executive Charlie Dixon allegedly groped her at a party. Wow, I'm surprised that Joy Taylor did that, because normally she's a very stand-up kind of person.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Yeah, Taylor and Dixon did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Monday. The suit alleges that Faraji, who it says worked both on a part-time and then full-time basis at Fox starting in 2012 until her firing in 2024, began working with Bayless in late 2016 when he was co-hosting the show Undisputed until after he requested she do his hair. Taylor was the moderator on that show. Soon after requesting weekly haircuts, nobody needs their haircut when you're a guy weekly.
Or a girl, like literally nobody.
I mean, okay, I shave my head and I need it every 5 days, but I do it myself.
True. Yes.
Okay, so unless you do it yourself, you don't need it weekly. Okay, I'm not buying that. Bayless began initiating unwanted touching in the form of lingering hugs in which he would put his body against Faraji's and press against her breasts, according to the suit. Oh, you're skeevy, dude. That turned into kisses on the cheek and inappropriate comments, including calling Faraji voluptuous. Can I call you a voluptuous cupcake on the show?
I mean, you can, but it would be inaccurate.
It would be inaccurate. Why do you say that? Listen to me. Why do you say that? It just went up like 8 octaves. After discussing the issue with a coworker, both decided it would be. I'm sorry. I skipped a paragraph here. Mr. Bayless started being more aggressive and direct in his advances. Ms. Faraji continually declined, stating that she did not date at work because she's a single mom and needed her job. Okay, so she put it out there. She said, hell no, dude.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. After discussing the issue with a coworker, both decided it would be detrimental to report the situation since Fox protected powerful men, according to the suit. Instead, the suit states, listen to me, Faraji decided to be kind toward Bayless or risk losing her job. As a single mother who relied on her job to support her son, Ms. Faraji felt that she had no choice. Bayless continued making sexual advances over the years, which Faraji would decline by making excuses regarding her son, changing the subject, or making jokes. Which, what else is she going to do, right?
Right.
I mean, she's got to maintain her job. It probably paid well. And she was just like, no, Mr. Bayless, put it back in your pants, and I got work to do.
Yeah, really putting her in an awkward situation that
Right.
there's no win for her.
Right. Now, in 2021, after being told that an issue with one of her ovaries could be cancer, Faraji allegedly explained the situation to Bayless in hopes that he'd take pity on her and cease his advances, which if you're a human being, you do.
And it only made him worse. Oh, God.
And he's like, oh, you're going to have an ovary out. Let's get it done. Woohoo.
Maybe I can get that out for you.
Yeah, friggin' animal. Oh, God, Jess, that's horrible. Although that he probably would say that, wouldn't he?
I don't know. Yeah. Ick. Sorry. Too
Probably.
far.
No, he probably would say that, though. Instead, Bayless told her he wanted to be with her, began kissing her hands, and offered her $1.5 million to do it with him. Oh, he's such a fucking animal. Faraji made an excuse to leave at that point, which I don't blame her. Around June of 2024, before his departure from the network, Bayless allegedly told Faraji that he fantasized about sex with her and asked how much money it would take for her to acquiesce. To which Faraji responded by replying she had already refused $1.5 million and her answer would not change. So you know what? If 1.5 million ain't getting it done there, Bacon, nothing is. Right?
Right? And if you have to offer money for it, it's time to let it go.
Right. If she's not looking at you and going, you know what, you're pretty easy on the eyes. I think we could get this done. You're probably not getting it. So, you know what? Give it up.
Gross.
Bayless replied, by the way, this is how clueless he is, Jess. The more you say no, the more I want you.
That's like a power dynamic thing, I suppose.
Oh, he's horrible.
Like, look how powerful I am. Look how much money I have.
He's disgusting.
He is. And then all I had to do was Google super tan actor, and it immediately came up, George Hamilton.
George Hamilton. Yes, he does look like George Hamilton. You're right.
Just a little bit, but
You're right. You're right.
which I feel is an insult to George Hamilton. So sorry, George.
No, you're right. He does look like George Hamilton.
But I can see it a little.
Like a young George Hamilton.
Yeah.
Okay. So now with that, we transition now into dumb crimes and stupid criminals.
Let's go.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's a time once again, the time you've all been looking forward to. It's time now for dumb crimes and stupid criminals. And with that, Jess, we need to set the table here. We've already introduced you, so we don't need to do that. We'll save time on that deal. I mean, as much as I'd like to do a second introduction for you, I could if you'd like.
Still me.
It's still you. Uh-huh. Well, I love that you're humble. So here's the deal. We're going to start it off in Florida, as we should.
Yay.
We'll start off a new year, new me, new Florida story. Although this one is a little hairy. No flight plan, heavy fog, calling the wrong airport. What else could have caused an airplane crash in Naples?
Ooh.
Well, we'll tell you what could have happened. A small 6-seat plane had crashed into a flight school. A flight school, Jess, at the Naples airport.
Oh my goodness.
At around 1 a.m. on New Year's Day. Here's what happened. A small plane crash at Naples airport on New Year's Day is now under federal investigation after a series of potential errors by the pilot and poor weather conditions, and it led to a major accident. The Beechcraft Bonanza A36, which is a single-engine plane known for its high performance, failed to gain altitude shortly after takeoff at around 1 a.m. due to engine problems. That according to the FAA. Now, the plane later crashed into 2 buildings. Count them, 2 buildings and a palm tree along Citation Point.
If he was getting points for crashing into things, he wins.
It's almost like what's that video game? Grand Theft Auto, where you get points into crashing into different things, right? Like you just find it out. Yeah. Well, in this case, you probably got a whole bunch of points for 2 buildings and a palm tree. Just saying.
Well done, sir.
Just saying. Okay, so here's the timeline of events. At 1:44 a.m., the plane, identified by tail number N8163F, if you're scoring at home, I know I am, attempted to take off from Naples Airport, but lost power less than 100 feet off the ground. You know you're in trouble. I don't know if you've ever flown in a small plane before. I got to co-pilot in one a couple of times.
Yeah, they're not my favorite. They make me motion sick, but
yeah. But if you're 100 feet off the ground and you lose power, you might as well tuck your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye, because that 100 feet off the ground, you're not going very far. So it gets 100 feet off the ground. The pilot attempts to return to the runway, but was then disoriented by heavy fog. Instead, the plane struck 2 buildings and a large palm tree between the Naples Jet Center and Rexair Flight Training School shortly after takeoff. Now, your conditions upon takeoff. The National Weather Service had issued a dense fog advisory just before 7 p.m. on December 31st, so you probably shouldn't have been taking off in the first place, right? Especially if you're a small plane, because that dense fog really isn't, if you know anything about fog, really isn't going to, it's probably going to go up to that cloud cover area, and you're probably not going to see anything. So you probably shouldn't, be taking off in the first place. But old Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch decided he was going to go. So do what thou will. Right?
He's like, I've got plans. I'm out of here.
I guess he needed to. Maybe he just got his pilot license and decided I'm going to take her for a spin. Might as well do it on New Year's Eve. New year, new me. Here we go. Right?
New year, dumb me. Okay, let's go.
Year, dumb me. Here we go. I got a bottle of champagne in one hand. I got the yolk in the other. Let's go, kids. Right? We're gonna take her for a spin. I just bought this brand new plane. Not a great idea. Naples Airport Weather Observing System reported ground visibility of 0 feet and vertical visibility of 100 feet by 1 a.m. on January 1st. So you could see 100 feet down and you could see exactly no feet in front of you.
Good plan. Let's go. Let's fly.
Go. Let's fly. Let's go. So flying without an IFR flight plan in these conditions is not only against regulations, but also reckless. The dense fog created a zero margin for error situation, and this pilot ignored those risks, said Robert Katz, a commercial pilot and flight instructor. So, there's that. But there's more, Jess. There's more to this stupid pilot who created a hazard. Are you ready for this? They failed to file a flight plan, so they didn't want anybody to know where they were going.
No.
Yeah. The pilot.
A little stupid on top of your stupid.
That's right. Well, a little dumb on top of stupid on top of reckless. So the pilot of the small aircraft didn't file an IFR flight plan prior to takeoff, a clear violation of FAA regulations. They miscommunicated with the ATC. Recordings obtained by NBC2 revealed the pilot mistakenly contacted the Fort Myers Air Traffic Control Center. Keep in mind that they're in Naples.
Okay.
So they contacted a tower in a different city.
So this guy should probably just not be flying at all, because he's just not smart enough for this gig.
Right. He probably shouldn't have done that. And by the way, Fort Myers was closed at the time of takeoff, so nobody responded. Yeah, nobody was there to answer. 3 attempted radio communications couldn't be heard with no response. Naples Airport's protocol requires pilots filing late-night flight plans to contact Miami's control tower instead. So Naples wouldn't have been there to respond either. You have to contact Miami in order to get a flight plan out in order to fly at that time of night. So he wasn't even close.
No.
Yeah. Now, despite zero visibility conditions and lack of clearance, the pilot decided at this point, hey, you know what? Let's go. Or as Tom Brady would say, let's effing go. Right? Let's do this. Well, you now see what's about to happen. So what happens after this? Well, the small 6-seater aircraft is a single-engine plane. While widely used, it's earned its nickname as the Dr. Killer in popular culture due to its reputation for crashes often attributed to pilot error upon takeoff and landing. The high-profile fatalities include Buddy Holly, the day the music died, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper, who passed away in Clear Lake, Iowa in 1959 in one of these. Okay.
God.
Yeah. The aircraft is registered to a Ronald C. Kaluger of Flagler County, while the Naples Airport Authority tells NBC News that the flight was headed towards that location on New Year's Day. It is unclear if Kaluger was the pilot at the time of the crash. So they don't know if he was actually piloting his own plane. The Bonanza A-36 is an excellent aircraft, but it demands respect and skill. Without proper training and preparation, it can be unforgiving, according to Mr. Katz, who has commented on throughout the article here. Okay, so what happens next? Well, the FAA and NTSB are conducting a thorough investigation, which began on the day of the crash. In addition to examining the pilot's actions, authorities will assess mechanical issues, weather conditions, and adherence to safety protocol. Let me give you a hint. Here's a spoiler alert for the rest of the article. There were none. So, yeah. The plane's debris was removed from the crash site along Citation Point, which was all over Citation Point. There wasn't much left of anything solid. Flying is inherently safe when done correctly, but when pilots cut corners, they're rolling dice with their lives and everyone around them, said Katz. All 4 passengers on board the aircraft were unharmed, believe it or not, and refused any medical treatment. It was a New Year's Eve miracle.
Well, it is.
So kids, there's a lesson to be learned here. When you don't file a flight plan, when you fly in heavy fog and you call the wrong airport, sometimes you're going to die. Other times you can get lucky and you can live through it.
Yeah, they got so lucky. I was feeling bad for laughing because I thought, oh, surely they're all going to be dead, but nope.
Nope.
Miracle.
They happen to live through that one.
No, I'm glad. Maybe they'll make better choices next time.
I'm just thinking there's going to be a whole lot of charges and a whole lot of fines at the end of this deal. Yeah. So that's how we start off Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals today. Okay, now, we've all had our days at the drive-thru, Jess. I think this is the first of two. Yeah, this is the first of two food stories. Our first one has to do with the drive-thru. What is your worst drive-thru experience, Jess?
I don't know. I can't really think of one. They've all been kind of nice. Last time I went to McDonald's, I got a free apple pie because I spoke in Spanish to the gentleman who gave me my food. So
really, look at you.
Yeah, I only knew un poco, but he was excited and gave me a free apple pie.
Look at you, un poco. And you get free. I'll have to remember that one. Un poco. What is un poco? Is that one moment?
Little, just a little.
Oh, just a little.
Yeah.
So un poco is just a little. All right. Okay.
He was just so excited. He was so sweet.
I think he's probably a little sweet on you is what it was.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was a good hair day. I don't know.
It might be a little bit more than that. Give yourself credit here, girl. Come on. All right. So if you've ever, those of you out in the audience who are fans of pro wrestling know about Jim Cornette, the famous wrestling manager, who had the Dairy Queen incident, which involves the Dairy Queen drive-thru and maybe some physical altercation with a person in a Dairy Queen. It's very easy to search. If you go online and just look up Jim Cornette Dairy Queen incident, you'll get the full story. It's very entertaining. It will forever be known as the Arby's incident. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
A man is accused of choking a juvenile drive-thru worker over a dissatisfactory order. I'm sure we've all felt like this before, but we've never taken it on full tilt. We go to South Jordan, where a man is facing charges after police said he choked a juvenile drive-thru employee after he was upset with his order. 51-year-old. I don't know why I laugh because it's a 50-year-old who did this.
Yeah, I choked a juvenile.
I choked a juvenile. Salvatore Esperaqueta is facing charges for one count of aggravated. Maybe you should have went to him and went un poco.
Maybe that would have made him happy and he wouldn't have choked a child.
That's right. Is facing charges for one count of aggravated child abuse, one count of aggravated assault, and one count of disorderly conduct, according to an affidavit. A probable cause statement said on Saturday, December 28th at approximately 2:13 p.m. That's right. It was in the middle of broad daylight. Esperaqueta was at an Arby's drive-thru in South Jordan when police were called about an assault. Police said Esperaqueta. See, I can do it in somewhat of a Spanish accent.
Very good. You could get a free apple pie.
I could say, un momento, Esperaqueta.
Muy bien.
Thank you. He was upset with his order and got out of his vehicle to confront the victim. Esperaqueta then said something along the lines of asking the victim if he is man enough to have a conversation before pushing the victim against a wall and door of the restaurant.
Oh, so scary.
There's no reason to puff out your chest and, try to man up the drive-thru worker.
Who's a child.
He's a child, right. During the altercation, police say Esperaqueta. Now I feel like I should be quoting lines from Desperado. Moved his hand up to the victim's neck, which constricted the breathing of the victim. Esperaqueta then reportedly left the Arby's. So choke him and leave him, Jess. The name of this.
That's my motto.
Choke him and leave. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Do they have to pay extra for that? Or is that?
1.25 million. Exactly. Right.
Wow. So about 0.10 million more than the hairdresser. So I'll let Bacon know about that.
Just let him know,
A little extra
We'll choke and leave.
little extra chokey, and you get
Only at Arby's though.
only it takes place at the Arby's in the bathroom. Is that what that is?
No, just out there in the lobby for everyone to see.
Wow. Okay. Oh, so public humiliation.
Yes.
1.25 million for little chokey. Police said when they spoke to Esperacueta, he made a comment about the allegation, saying he made a mistake at the Arby's. Don't we all when we order from Arby's? We make it. If you don't get the Jamocha shake, you make the mistake, if you know what I mean. So there you go. Our second food story, Jess, has to do with a Longhorn Steakhouse. Have you ever been to a Longhorn?
I've not. It sounds delicious though. I love steak.
I love me some Longhorn. Longhorn they're much like Outback Steakhouse in that they have wonderful bread.
Ooh, do we have one around here?
Longhorn, I think, is a Southern thing.
Okay.
Southern and kind of like mid-U.S., Southern U.S.
All right. I'm going to remember that when I'm traveling.
Yeah. So if you're in Ohio, I think you got to go as far south as Ohio in order to start seeing Longhorns. No, that didn't sound right. Let me take that back. So let me get to the story. A woman dies days after a freak accident in the parking lot of a Longhorn Steakhouse. We go to Murfreesboro, Tennessee. What's new, a woman? A little more than a friend from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Did you really? Hope this isn't the same lady.
I hope not either. I'm about to find out. A woman who was critically injured during a freak accident in the parking lot of a Tennessee steakhouse has died. That would be tragic if it was. According to the Murfreesboro Police Department, police say the woman who was injured in the parking lot of a Longhorn Steakhouse on December 23rd later died on December 28th at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Oh, no, it's not. She's 61. She's been identified by police as 61-year-old Kathy Pendergrass of Warrenton, Virginia. Police said a woman in a Honda CR-V, which was modified for use as a mail carrier vehicle with an accelerator and brake on the passenger side, was backing out of a parking space to allow a man in a wheelchair to get in. He was being helped in by another woman, later identified as Pendergrass, because he recently suffered a stroke and had no feeling in his left side. As the man was getting in, he accidentally hit the gas pedal on the passenger side. That caused the vehicle to reverse, spin out of control, and then hit another vehicle.
Oh, this is a sad story, Tim.
See, you wanting to, don't chuckle. Don't do it.
I'm not going to. It's too sad.
It's kind of Benny Hillish, though. See, I bring that up, and that makes you want to chuckle. Pendergrass was then pinned between the two vehicles. Now, that's a painful way to go.
Yeah.
Police said the SUV continued in reverse and crashed into two more cars before stopping. Why couldn't the guy take his foot off the pedal? I just wonder.
It seems so simple, but I'm sure he was panicked and, not thinking straight.
Just hear that, oh, shit, coming out of his mouth.
I can imagine how bad he feels.
Well, he better feel bad. The other woman and the man were not hurt. The thing that hurt on the man was his feelings. Sure. Just saying. All right. Again, another story about a plane.
So many vehicle crashes.
I think this one has more to do with bad behavior on a plane.
Oh, okay.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had the woman who was a stowaway. Remember the stowaway?
Right. Yep.
Okay. Well, this one has to do with a man who attacked TSA officers in Miami, which caused the plane to be diverted a day earlier. Listen to this guy. 28-year-old Cameron Dylan McDougal was arrested Saturday in Miami on 3 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer and 1 count of battery on a person 65 or older. What is it with people going nuts at the airport these days?
I don't know. And come on, McDougal, do better.
That's right. Do better. Although this guy has permanent chode all over his face. There you go. Right there. Just say it.
Oh, he looks like a McDougal.
Does look like a McDougal. Does. Although I had a Mrs. McDougal for a music teacher, nicest woman in the world.
Was she nice?
Yeah, she was wonderful. So
It does kind of sound like a douchey name, though, doesn't it?
does yeah.
For a guy.
McDougal sounds like you gargle a flute for a living, doesn't it? I've always, since I was a kid, I always thought that you know.
Yeah, it is a funny sounding one, but gargling a flute, that's quite the visual.
It is, and I mean, I didn't mean to bring that up, but whenever I heard McDougal, I thought, I mean, that sound in my head since I was.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move on. 28-year-old Cameron Dylan McDougal, which sounds like a turkey, I know, was arrested Saturday at Miami on 3 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer and 1 count of battery on a person 65 or older, according to Miami-Dade jail records. In a statement on Wednesday, a TSA spokesperson said a supervisory officer and another officer were assaulted by a passenger in an unprovoked attack at a security checkpoint. I want to know how that goes down. You're just, you're about to walk up to TSA and you're like, hey. I mean, how does that unprovoked deal happen? I mean, is it just,
what really, like, what goes through people's minds?
Right.
I don't get it. I'm just thinking, do I have my driver's license out?
Yeah. Do I have my boarding pass? Do I have my ID? Am I going to use my passport? Are you going to fucking fight me? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm just not violent enough, I guess.
I'm not either. Miami-Dade police responded to the checkpoint and arrested the passenger. The TSA spokesperson said the same passenger had been involved in a separate incident a day earlier, during which he caused an in-flight disturbance that caused the flight to be diverted to Miami. So he had done the same thing a day earlier. He was like, I can't bring the water bottle aboard because there's more than 3 ounces. I can't bring the orange because it's organic food, and I can't bring organic food on the flight. I got to throw it away. And then, you want to fight me? And then he went off. I don't know. During his appearance in bond court, it was learned that McDougal is from Canada, typically not violent people, and was traveling home from Peru. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. This unprovoked and brash physical attack against our employees worked tirelessly to ensure the safety of the traveling public and the security of our aviation system is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Therefore, this guy gets an anal probe at the border, every border he crosses, said TSA.
They said that, huh?
Yeah, they've had it. Yeah, two incidences in 2 days. We're going to calm his ass down, said TSA.
It's a lifetime of anal probing.
That's right. We're going to take that little flat wand. We're going to play lightsaber with his ass. We're going to sheath our swords in his colon, is what they said.
Wow, that's some serious.
No, they didn't.
Serious repercussions right there.
If TSA did say that, if they said that publicly like 2 or 3 times, would it calm people's asses down? Do you think?
I think it would probably have a positive effect on eliminating some of this crappy behavior. Yes.
Yeah, literally crappy.
Nobody wants a stick shoved up their butt.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some people do, but generally speaking.
But not by a complete stranger who's in security.
Right.
Right. Because they don't do it gentle, and there's no lube. I mean, they just,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they wouldn't be kind about it.
No. And then you're going to have to sit in that uncomfortable little seat with a sore tushy.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you put that so mom-like. That was so nice of you. With a sore tushy. Yeah. And you'll have to think about it, mister.
That's right. You think about what you've done.
You don't even get a shot of whiskey afterwards to take away the pain. You just have to sit there and think about it.
That's right.
I think that would have totally cleared up the situation.
Yeah, a little strong language. A little threat of violence.
I think Mr. Canadian Peruvian McDougal would have just settled right the F down. He would have just. Yeah. So, Jess, in our next story, I think we're going to learn another valuable lesson here. You should not play video games, and drive at 107 miles an hour down a busy interstate.
Solid advice.
Solid advice. You remember me telling you that? Was I telling you or was I telling Mally that I put the video game system in the yeah.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, this is one of the valuable lessons I told the nephew. Don't drive down the interstate playing video games at 107 miles an hour.
Was it like a legit setup, kind of like you had?
I don't think what this guy was.
All right. Or was he just Candy Crushing it on his cell phone?
I think he was Candy Crushing it. Yeah. A driver was caught playing video games while speeding at 107 miles an hour down Interstate 35. We go to Missouri, Claycomo, Missouri to be exact, where a driver was pulled over for playing a video game while speeding 107 miles an hour on I-35. Oh, the coordination on this one. I can't even get up in the morning and not fall on the floor while taking my pills. I'm just saying. The incident occurred on December 27th. Merry Christmas to you. While officers stopped a white car. Police said the driver was engrossed in a video game and was also operating on a suspended license. So evidently he couldn't pay his license fee, but he definitely could. Boy, he could Candy Crush the fuck out of this phone, couldn't he? Yeah. The driver now faces multiple charges and has a pending court date. The department quipped in a social media post, "We forgot to ask if he was playing NASCAR, but we'll assume."
Gran Turismo, that used to be my favorite.
Can you imagine if he was playing, what's the one where, was Gran Turismo the one where you go around the track, around?
Yeah. Mario Kart, that'd be a good game to be playing while you're driving too.
Yeah, what? Mario Kart? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You betcha. Yeah.
I'm good at that one too. I can beat all of my children at Mario Kart.
There you go. Well, that's what you need to play at 107 miles an hour down the road.
Okay, I'm going to remember that as I'm teaching Brielle how to drive.
Yeah. And put on the meta glasses while you're at it so you fully see everything on the road while you're doing it.
Solid plan.
Yep. I think it's solid. You got an excuse now when you pulled over by the cops.
Will you come visit me in prison when I go to jail for these shenanigans?
I'll bail you out, kid. That's for sure. Because at over a Hondo, you get taken right to jail. So yeah. You're gonna need bail money. You're gonna need somebody to call. Just call me. I'll come.
I will. Got you on speed dial.
That's right. I'll come with the cake with the file. Our next story is also a motorist story. We go to Vancouver Island, where a driver is stopped for a suspected impaired motorist, but gets busted for DUI. I know you're saying, aren't they the same thing, Tim? Well, here's the story. 50-year-old Qualicum Beach motorist was pulled over to stop a suspected impaired driver from driving further, but ended up failing a roadside alcohol test screening themselves. Oh, so they called it in. They said, "Hey, someone's driving drunk." And they said, "Hey, thanks for the tip. We just want to thank you." And they said, no, don't bother. Because they were a little tipsy themselves. On New Year's Eve at around 5:30 p.m., Oceanside RCMP, I think this is a Canadian story, received a report about a possible impaired driver in Qualicum Beach. The suspect had pulled over on Fern Road near Berwick Road, and another motorist stopped to intervene, allegedly to prevent them from driving further. So in other words, don't go any further, you're drunk. You're drunk. Don't go any further, you're drunk. When officers arrived on the scene, they noticed that the second driver had signs of alcohol consumption as well.
Everybody's drunk.
That's right. Everybody's drinking. It's New Year's Eve, right? A roadside alcohol screening test was administered, which the driver failed. So everybody was kung fu fighting. As a result, the individual was immediately prohibited from driving for 90 days and their vehicle was impounded for 30. Everybody got citations. According to the police, the initial suspected impaired driver was confirmed to be sober, although they were struggling. Yep, they were struggling with driving in the dark, so they just had a little coordination problem.
Oh, I have a hard time seeing in the dark. You got to eat more carrots.
Yeah, a little beta carotene. Yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there are many people who still believe it is okay to drink and drive, says Sergeant Shane Worth of Oceanside RCMP. Impaired driving is an offense. It is dangerous to everyone using the roads, and our officers are targeting impaired drivers every day of the year to take them off the streets, including busy looky-loos who think they can pull over people who are having a hard time in the dark. So there you go.
It was a drunken citizen's arrest.
A drunken citizen's arrest. That's right. I guess it's now time for Not Safe for Work here on the program then.
All right, let's do it.
Time now for Not Safe for Work on the program. This is the way it works. If you have the kids out right now, put them away. I don't know where you put them. I don't know if you put them in a room. I don't know if you put them over at Arby's, at their job at Arby's, so someone can choke them out. I don't know what you do, but it's time now for that deal. If you're at work, like at an Arby's, probably tell the manager to go back in the cooler. It's time now for you to listen to Not Safe for Work. So that's what we're doing here. We do that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, Jess. Oh. Our first one is not a happy Not Safe for Work.
Okay.
See, Jess, when a man and a man love each other very much, what they do is they get rid of the ex-wife, because she could get jealous and she could end up shooting one or the other.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a messy story in our first Not Safe for Work. What a bizarre story to start out with. Okay, a woman shoots one at a local home after learning her boyfriend and her ex were together over New Year's Eve. See, sometimes when there's a party on New Year's, everybody gets wacky and somebody loses out. I'm just saying. Maybe she shouldn't have invited her boyfriend and her ex-husband to the same party.
Yeah, it's like a menage a trois she didn't want.
Well, you know what they say about, you know what? I actually sent one of our listeners who I talk to on a regular basis about True Crime Tuesday. I sent her a video about the whole Diddy thing.
Yeah.
So Kim Porter, Diddy's ex, had a book out supposedly before she died. And there's a video that details the entire book. And supposedly in there, now I'm going to give you some juicy gossip about the Diddy thing real quick that will explain this next story. So when Diddy went to work for, now again, this is rumor, this is allegedly, see, I'm putting up the quotes, allegedly.
Right.
Allegedly, when Diddy went to work for MCA Uptown Records, Albie Shore was not only an artist, but he was also in management at MCA Uptown. Okay. Well, Albie Shore and Kim Porter were married at the time. I think they were married. They were either married or they're together. And Diddy went to dinner at Albie Shore and Kim Porter's house. Okay. And Albie Shore and Kim Porter suggested a threesome between the three of them. This is allegedly.
Okay.
Well, the three of them got together for a threesome, but Kim got kicked out of the bed and it ended up being a twosome.
Ooh.
See, that can happen, I guess. Allegedly. That's according to this video. And according to the book that Kim Porter allegedly put out before she died, which then got taken off the market by her kids. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
There's a lot of allegedly going around here.
We don't want to get sued. This is all allegedly.
All allegedly. That brings us up to this story where a woman shot one at her local home after learning her boyfriend and her ex were together. We go to Clear Creek Township, Ohio, where a woman is accused of shooting a man at a New Year's get-together after learning her boyfriend and her ex-husband were there together. Well, you know, everyone's got to have a date for New Year's. Just saying.
I mean, I think it's nice when exes can get along with new people.
That's right. That's right. And if you're having a hard time seeing your ex with someone new, then maybe you shouldn't be there. Even if it is your boyfriend. Just saying. Olivia Clendenin then crashed her mother's SUV during her getaway, according to Clear Creek Township Police. Emergency crews were called to a home on Darth Road at 5 a.m. for a reported drive-by shooting. Whoops. They found a man screaming in pain who had been shot in the abdomen. He was taken to Atrium Medical Center. No word on his condition. police say Clendenin's ex-husband and boyfriend first told police no one else was at the home. A few other people came forward, and then 2 more were found hiding. Police say Clendenin's ex eventually told police he thought she was the shooter, and she was mad that the 2 were hanging out. Her boyfriend gave them the same information. They learned that she had crashed a short distance away on McLean Road. Clendenin faces felonious assault, which, by the way, is going to be the name of my next band. I'm just saying.
It has to be.
Felonious assault is a great band name. Using weapons while intoxicated and other gun charges. So somebody was a bit jealous. Just saying. All right. Our next story. Reckless rubbing caused reckless driving. Just saying.
Ooh.
A woman tried to take the blame for her beau's bad driving. Again, we're going to another New Year's Eve story. This time, we're going to Florida. After pulling over a motorist whose vehicle almost struck the curb multiple times early Thursday morning, a Florida cop walked up to the driver's side door and immediately detected the presence of alcohol. When the officer asked 53-year-old Ronnie White if everything was okay, White's female passenger jumped in to offer an explanation for her companion's erratic 1 a.m. operation of his 2014 Ford truck. 48-year-old Diane Dash apologized to police, claiming that the close curb encounters may be my fault. That's quote unquote. She explained that it's my birthday and I was rubbing all over him trying to get him excited. Well, you were trying. Whether you're accomplishing or not, that's a whole other thing. Dash said the duo were returning from a restaurant in Stewart where they had celebrated her December 26th birthday. Well, asked by a St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office deputy if other than her rubbing all over you, is everything else okay with you, he replied yes, and reportedly agreed to a series of field sobriety tests. Okay, so here is the aforementioned Ronnie White. You tell me, Jess, if you're coming home from a birthday dinner, are you rubbing all over Mr. Ronnie White there?
I am certainly not, Tim. He has like a bowl cut. He looks like the guy from Dumb and Dumber.
He kind of does. Okay, so if you had a choice between 1.15 million and rubbing all over bacon or rubbing all over him from a birthday dinner, which one are you taking?
None of the above.
All right, thank you for playing. We appreciate that. That's an easy game show to play. And for playing today, you get a lifetime supply of turtle wax. A lifetime supply of turtle wax is just 1 container of turtle wax because, by gosh, you never
What are you going to use it for?
only need like a little dab out of the container to wax your car. So, okay. All right. So White performed poorly, by the way, on his tests, much like he did in school, reported a deputy who felt White was impaired and unable to operate a vehicle safely. White, who declined to take a breath test, was arrested for driving under the influence and booked into the county jail. White was freed from custody after posting a $500 bond on the misdemeanor count. He's scheduled for arraignment on February 20th. By the way, it's unclear if Dash actually received a birthday present, so we have no idea. He did get a little, birthday rub, so to speak, but that's about it.
It's probably the best birthday present he had in a while.
Probably, yeah. Okay. There was a story that happened in Alabama last year. George Owens decided he was going to go for a bit of a dip, a little bit of a swim, if you will. Now, some people like to swim in the buff. They like to feel the natural flow of the water around their naked body.
Sure.
And this man right here, Jess, George Owens, here he is right here, seen in his booking photo, is one of those guys, right?
Okay.
He's 43 years old. He's in the prime of his life. Likes to go for a good skinny dip every once in a while, right?
He looks pretty buttoned up in that, looks like a business shirt.
Here's the problem. George Owens went for a dip at the Bass Pro Shops. In the middle of Bass Pro Shops in Alabama.
Oh my gosh, why couldn't I have been there then? That would be so funny. Could someone do that at Cabela's in Owatonna, please?
Now, you may think it's innocent enough to do that, right? Maybe to show up at Cabela's in Owatonna and take a little dip. Here's the problem. it's a crime. And
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a crime there, not just public nuisance and public nudity. No. Let's tell you what he's being charged with, because he was arraigned this last week. The Alabama man who stripped off his clothes and cannonballed naked into a Bass Pro Shops aquarium pleaded guilty to several criminal counts and has been accepted into a pretrial diversion program that could result in dismissal of his charges. 43-year-old George Owens was arrested in January of last year after he caused a disturbance and then fought with police at the sporting goods outlets in Leeds, which is a Birmingham suburb, after intentionally crashing his Chevy pickup truck with his wife and 6-year-old son inside. That's right, he got in the hard way. Into a light pole outside the retailer. Owens then stripped naked, ran into the store, and jumped into the aquarium. Who says he doesn't like a good time, Jess?
He sounds like a heck of a fun guy.
A little bit. The offender began to yell obscene language at customers and police as he got into the aquarium. So,
What a sight.
Yeah, went on a little bit of a rampage. Owens eventually tumbled out of the aquarium and, while being handcuffed, like the slippery dolphin he was, began to fight with officers, one of whom Owens kicked in the testicles. That's right, because when you go, you got to go the rough way.
Oh my goodness. I just came for some Carhartt, and this is what I'm witnessing right here.
Just came for some Carhartt. Came for a little Carhartt. While several patrons were observed leaving the store with haste, as cops noted, other Bass customers stayed to record the commotion, video of which quickly went viral.
Yep, that would have been me.
You would have got that video. Police estimated that Owens cost about $3,500 in damages to the light pole and $5,000 in damages to the police transport vehicle. Owens' wife told police she believed he was having a mental episode. Owens, who claimed he had taken a lot of drugs that he found in his garage, initially declined to explain why he jumped into the aquarium. If I tell you guys, you'll put me in the loony house, he said. Here's another picture, by the way, of Mr. Owens in his Blue Lagoon moment, if you get the reference from the 80s, early 80s.
I mean, that's a beautiful backdrop.
It really is, isn't it?
It looks like something out of a movie.
Like Blue Lagoon, doesn't it?
Yeah, really, you nailed it.
Yeah, well, I don't want to nail him, but I mean it's the moment. It's the whole Brooke Shields Blue Lagoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Owens subsequently pleaded guilty to several Class A misdemeanors, including public lewdness, resisting arrest, and criminal mischief. Owens' case is being handled in Veterans Treatment Court, which was established to address the needs of returning service members charged with crimes arising from substance abuse and mental health issues. A judge has ordered Owens, whose military history is not detailed in court records, to enroll in drug treatment and remain drug and alcohol free. He's also prohibited from possessing firearms. So,
well, first of all, we should thank him for his service.
Yes, thank you for your service. And thank you for the Bass Pro Shops.
And then we can thank him for the show.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Question though, if you were to go in your garage and take all the drugs in your garage, what would you find in there? For me, it'd be maybe an Advil mixed with a Tylenol, if we're really getting crazy. I mean, a couple antacids, maybe some Tums. I mean, what kind of drugs do you have in your garage?
First of all, it's a great mix you got going there, Jess. One's an anti-inflammatory. One works on the liver, one works on the kidney. So, I mean, you're doing a good job there. Most doctors would applaud you. Way to go.
Thank you. I like to take care of myself.
And you do. Second of all, the Tums, very good. I mean, you're dealing with a little indigestion there. That's good. And probably because you've mixed the anti-inflammatories, you're probably going to need a little Tums. So good
yes.
luck. Yeah, that's very good. Good advice for the kids at home. Second, what you keep out in the garage is the shit you don't want the wife to find out about.
I guess.
So he's probably got, I don't know, a little weed, little coke, little Molly out there in the garage.
Yeah.
Get out to the Bass Pro Shops with his van down by the river.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you want to be that that guy when your wife comes to bail you out, though. Oh boy, would I
but
be mad.
She was along for the trip with the kid.
She was?
Yeah, that was part
Did
of
I
the
miss that part of the
You
story?
did, yeah. I think it was the sheer horror, the fact that they were along for the trip that you blocked that out. Yeah. Yeah, he took him with.
Oh, that's even worse.
How would you like to be the kid who had to watch all that? That's my daddy. You know. Yeah. That's my daddy with his donger out in the middle of the pond. Is the fishy gonna eat that worm? You know, that it's that sort of stuff that
Wow. Crazy.
yeah. Then the wife going, that's my husband. That's my husband. That's
The
my
slow clap moment, Tim. Slow.
Yep. That's the love of my life, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. There he is. There he is.
You're jealous. I get to live with that.
Yep. No, ladies, he's taken. He is taken. He's taken. Yeah. Don't try. Don't even try it. Especially
Meanwhile, I would be over on the side trying to make a TikTok because I'd be like, I can totally go viral with this.
when he comes flopping out of that tank like Orca, don't you dare. Don't you dare, ladies. Don't you dare. He's all mine. By the way, if Owen successfully graduates from Veterans Court, charges against him may be dismissed through a pretrial diversion program where they just slap him on that slimy dick until he stops doing this again. I'm just kidding. Owens is scheduled for a January 7th progress review, which is today, by the way, in district court. So hopefully Mr. Owens successfully gets through the program.
Yes, I wish him the best.
So, by the way,
thank him for the entertainment.
Yes, thank you for the entertainment. If you thought you were entertained by that one, we've got one from one of our listeners. By the way, if you have a story for us for Dumb Crime Stupid Criminals, you can send it in tim@darknessradio.com. We'd be glad to entertain anything you got for us, such as this story. I think this one came from Tom. If I remember right, it was Tom or Tony, one or the other. You both get kudos today. We'll put it that way. The headline here reads, Jess, and our final story, Floyd County Prison inmate found with multiple items inside anus.
Whoa. I was not expecting you to say that, Tim.
The man's name is Kenneth Marshall Gibbs. Come on down. We found stuff inside your anal cavity. An inmate at the Floyd County Prison, 43-year-old Kenneth Marshall Gibbs of Covington, is facing new charges after he was found with multiple items inside his rectum cavity. Rectum, he damn near killed him. Just saying. Reports said that Gibbs was, are you ready for this? Are you sitting down? If you're sitting down, get ready for some pain. Are you ready for this?
Yes, please, let's go.
Reports said that Gibbs was found with let's effing go, like Tom Brady would say, let's effing go.
Let's effing go.
That's what Gibbs said when they said, how much can you fit up there? Here we go. Reports said that Gibbs was found with two. This reads like the what's the Christmas Carol where it's the 5 lords of leaping, 7 swans of swimming. That's what this reads like. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Reports said that Gibbs was found with 2 vape canisters, 4 syringes, 1 vape cartridge, 3 batteries, 1 cigarette lighter, and 0.64 grams of marijuana inside him.
Wow. That sounds painful on so many levels.
He's the Kobayashi of cash and shit in his colon. I can't believe
I hope he had a cap on the syringe and it just wasn't in there all open.
I know, right?
Owie.
By the way, I had to reach for that reference. Jess. Gibbs, by the way, is charged with items prohibited by an inmate. That's all they could come up with. We can't charge your colon with anything.
Yeah, you can't have that. Not even if it's in your rectum.
Yeah. By the way, who wants all that shitty stuff? Man.
That's the thing. I always think when you tell me these stories about people that have stuff up their asses, I'm like, why do you want it after it's been up your poop chute? I don't understand.
At least it got in there, right? So, did you give me my vape?
You're gonna put that in your mouth then and vape?
Can't wait to get my lips on that.
He had two of them. Were they both his, or was he holding one for a friend? I mean, I love you, Tim, but if you hold my vape in your asshole, I'm gonna smoke it later. I'm sorry. Oh, too much.
Which, for palate cleanser today, I was going to tell you about all the things that are found in emergency rooms up people's asses, but would you like to know?
Is that really going to be our palate cleanser?
Yes, it was a related story.
Okay. I've heard about some of this from my mom, who was a nurse for many years.
Actually, it was more than just up the ass, but we were gonna go up different body parts.
All the orifices. Is that the word? Orifices? That's not right.
Orifices, yes. The headline is, "What did we get stuck in our rectums last year?"
Yes, whoever wrote this story is my favorite.
It says, "Do you realize
this is journalism?"
This is pure hard journalism right here. Do you realize that this is the 12th year that we run this series? It was run on detector.com.
Oh my goodness.
And they say time really flies when you don't have something lodged up your butt. That's what it says in the article. But for those of you who do read on, see if you've made this year's list of weirdest stuff that entered America's orifices. If not, there's always next year. This is according to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission's database of emergency room visits. All descriptions.
It's amazing that we have that in such an official database.
Right? And the government, I mean, the government actually keeps track of this. So if you think
I want that job.
I know, right? So if you think you've gone to the emergency room and you've got away scot-free, you haven't. It's been logged, and it's been logged by the government, first of all.
You're on a list.
That's right. These are the things, gentlemen, you got caught in your dick last year. You ready for this?
I'm afraid I am, yes.
These are the things that guys got caught in their dick last year. An AirPod, a pen cap, a pen.
Why?
I don't know. A coffee stirrer.
Ow, that's wooden.
A screw.
Oh.
That could hurt. A paper clip.
Oh.
A wax straw.
Ooh.
A 4-inch metal tube. Oh. Here's the quote from the medical report. Took a piece of plastic coated paper from a milk container, rolled it tightly, wrapped it with tape to the size of greater than a crayon, and inserted it as far as he could into his penis several hours ago.
Why? Why?
Mental illness.
Wow.
Handle of plastic spoon. That's just way too big. That's way too big.
Oh my God. These guys are making the guy who stripped and dove into the aquarium look normal.
Yeah. Plastic fork.
Oh, owie.
There's the good old fashioned glue.
Mm.
Be ready for this one. Rolled up magazine page.
Whole page.
Mm.
Dang.
By the way, I'm going to do this like they do in the ghetto. You ready? Domino, motherfucker. Who puts a domino up there? Mm-mm. Phone charging cable.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to hold it up right
Big end, small end, either end.
Ouch. Charging cable.
Why?
I don't know. Ow. Ow.
On a dare? I mean, are these like, I dare you?
It had to be. And thermometer. Ladies, it's your turn.
Okay.
All right. Ladies, here's what you chose to cop up there this last year. A plastic cube.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Hmm.
A plastic triceratops. Evidently, that's how dinosaurs went extinct.
Just want to make love to my dinosaur.
Mm-hmm. A bobby pin. Could happen.
Oh. It's little.
Evidently, somebody found a nice souvenir shot glass at the bar they needed.
What?
Yeah. A statue.
That leaves it wide open. Of liberty? Like,
Right. Statue of? Yeah, it just says statue.
Paul Revere? Like,
Paul Revere. Headless horseman?
ooh.
Yeah.
It had a head when it went in there. Doesn't anymore.
See? I see what you did there. A toy fire truck.
Mm.
Somebody dreams of firemen. This one is a double entendre. An egg.
Oh, an egg. Yeah.
An egg. This one is directly from the report. Patient reports partner was wearing an enhancement apparatus that became stuck following intercourse. Let's figure that one out.
Okay.
A spork.
Ooh, owie.
A bar of soap. Now, Charles Barkley did say he got one small bar of soap caught in his ass. So I can get
Really?
that. Yeah, I get that.
You get it?
Well, no, I don't get the bar of soap up my ass. Don't get me. Forget I said.
That's not how you get clean, but.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
The next one is deodorant.
Oh. Okay. Feeling a little unfresh. Want to be.
That's probably the wrong way to go about it. Maybe
Yeah.
that's how they discovered the deodorant spray. I don't know.
Yes.
A perfume bottle. Okay, the next one is a series. So you have to imagine the series together, but they're individual entries. Pencil. 2 pencils. Pencil sideways.
Whoa. Oh, Tim.
The next is a journal entry. Placed a device that has a vaginal sex toy and an anal portion, which are connected by a rubber cord, both into her vagina, that were unable to retrieve. They did have some alcohol this eve.
Just a scotch.
A little bit. I have a feeling this one is probably more common than we know. You ready? Curling iron.
Oh, hopefully not hot.
No, yes, they didn't specify. Dry erase marker. Must be a teacher. I'm just saying. Spoon. Knife.
Oh.
Hopefully butter knife. Yeah. Bag of soil.
Bag of freaking soil.
Yeah.
What?
Again, these are things ladies have caught up there.
Wow.
The next is a journal entry. Was roughhousing with her husband, who lifted her up and accidentally dropped her on a hot dog cooker, vaginal bleeding.
Wow. That guy's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever getting it ever again. Keys.
Oh, man.
Ooh, who decided?
Are you trying to hide them or like what?
Candle. Probably more common than you think. This is not the name of a Kevin Smith movie. Climbing peg.
What is wrong with people, Tim?
This one, I do want to make a movie of. Finger puppet. Hello, my dear. Would you like to play today?
Oh my God. People are so strange.
And finally, for the women, microchip. What is that supposed to do?
Heck. You trying to keep track of yourself?
Got a Bill Gates fetish? I mean, what's going on there?
That's so weird.
All right, now for men and women alike, the things that were caught up the rectum
in
2024, and we'll end this whole shebang, so to speak.
Shebang.
This, according to a report, patient states that him and his wife got carried away and a portion of a plastic screwdriver handle is in his rectum.
Oh my goodness. Was it for fun or was she mad at him?
Right? Like, I'll teach you to put your tools away.
Hmm.
Next one. Could only happen in music class. Xylophone mallet.
What?
All right. Foam ball.
Oh gosh.
Is it?
Oh, so dry and
Oh, I know.
weird.
Yeah. This is very, very particular. Like, if there's a Snap-on tool salesman out there, I want to know how this happens. You ready for this?
Yeah.
12-inch ratchet extender. Doesn't know why.
We don't either. I'm trying so hard to understand the why of any of these.
That is so goddamn unusual. All right. Again, these are things stuck up the rectum in 2024, according to the government and emergency room workers. Cylindrical wooden block. You remember those?
Oh yeah.
Cylindrical wooden block.
Just stuck it right up there, huh?
This next one is going to hurt. I guarantee it. Cooking spray, like a Pam can.
That's huge.
That is monstrous. That is a size queen if I've ever heard of one.
Oh my gosh. I'm traumatized right now.
This one is from the report. Patient states she believes she has a vibrator in either her rectum or vagina. Can't figure out which one. That is a loss of sensation right there.
Wow.
You know, it's time to lay off for about a year
Yeah.
when you don't know which orifice you put it in.
I lost it somewhere.
Right. The next one is from our cleaning products line. I'm going to go in quick succession. Shampoo bottle, lotion bottle, can of deodorant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And then to add to that, plastic bottle with the bottom cut off. So you've got jagged edges.
It's terrible. You could really hurt yourself. Oh, that's the worst one yet.
Oh my God. Oh, Jess. Oh. Maybe I should leave this one for the end. Oh, this one is, I'm going to leave this one for the end because you can't imagine this one. I'm going to leave this one for the end. Broomstick.
Right.
18-inch dildo.
Okay.
Dildo from 4 days ago. Oh, that's got to start to smell a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Such a tummy ache. You can't poop.
Oh,
4 days?
4 days. Shoved a bag containing 20 hydroxine pills into his rectum for street cred. That's from Mm-hmm.
I was trying to be cool with my bros.
Hydroxine pills, 20 of them. Hey, you know what? I can cop those in my ass. Watch this. I can't get them out. 3 AAA batteries.
Ooh.
Because all of a sudden now you're a toothbrush.
No, you're an Energizer bunny.
That's right. 2 AA batteries because you're a toothbrush. 1 D battery. D, motherfucker, D. That's right from Do the Right Thing. Oh God, this is horrid. From the report, tried to remove poop with a pen a few days ago, lost pen and rectum. It's a constipation issue. This one to all aspiring rappers, a 50-cent piece. Just saying. Oh, this would be incredibly painful. A scrub brush.
Oh, owie.
Yes. Again, things lost up the rectum in 2024. This directly from the report has a plastic baby bottle up her rectum. Patient states she and her male partner were getting kinky.
Wow. Some Jerry Springer shit right there.
That is, yeah. Let's go in quick succession here. Wire hanger, enema bottle, 2 plastic bottles, and a shot glass.
Wire hanger.
Yeah, wire hanger. I love the 2 plastic bottles and a shot glass because, sometimes it's a little cavernous. So you gotta put a combo platter in there.
Picking it up there. Yeah. You
Yeah.
got more room. Not full yet.
What it is it's the grinding of the 3 that causes the sensation. Directly from the report, patient states he tripped in the shower and fell backwards and landed on a shampoo bottle, which became lodged in his anus.
Oh man, if that's true, that's the worst day ever.
Mm-hmm. Patient states slipped and fell in the bathtub, landing on a shark toy. Next entry is baby shark do toy. So yeah, I put that in your head.
Oh.
Cigarette lighter, toothbrush holder, light bulb, broken light bulb. Yeah, broken light bulb.
Dang.
Took clonazepam dose 3 times instead of once, has a battery in rectum, and has nausea. I don't know what one has to do with the other, but hey. Motorized tire pump inserted in her rectum and was insufflated for a duration of approximately 5 minutes.
Oh my God, someone tried to blow her up.
I'm going to blow her up like the Macy's Day Parade float.
Like that Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah. Metal toilet paper holder. Ow. Plastic lemon, fake banana. We have fruit. You get your daily supply of fruit there.
That's right. That's not how you're supposed to take it, but whatever.
That's right. And of course, if you've got fruit, you've got a Jell-O mold. That was in there too.
Why not?
There you go. You've got your marbles and your darts. Those are in there along with a board game piece. And for those of you who are fans of Diddy, a bottle of GHB.
Oh gosh.
Yes. Okay. And finally, did I tell you about took vibrator out of anus, noticed battery had fallen out?
No.
Okay. There's that one. Second to the last one, patient reports, I just got married, presents with a sex toy stuck inside rectum.
Well, there you go. Congratulations.
And finally, the one that's going to make you cringe, Jess, that's going to make you say, you know what? I give up all games with anybody ever again. And this one, I swear to God, will make you cringe for the rest of the day, rest of the night, and make you want to put things in your ears that will make them bleed. Ankle, abdominal, and neck pain after jumping off of a second floor balcony, foreign body and rectum.
Oh, man.
Who plays games like that?
How does that happen?
That's the stupid stuff people did.
Dang.
That sent them to the emergency room. And
Well, I don't feel like my palate is cleansed, Tim, but I did laugh a lot. So thank you for that.
There you go. So that's how we end Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals today. And True Crime Tuesday Friday. It's just crimes against yourself, really.
Really? Yeah, that last part.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And by the way, the picture for this, Jess, is somebody sticking a candy cane up their arm.
Oh my.
Sorry.
Merry Christmas. That's hilarious.
Merry Christmas, everyone. All right. Today or tomorrow on the big show, Supernatural News with Mally Fox. And then a big surprise on Thursday. We have, we may be delving deep into your mind on Thursday.
Ooh.
There you go. So that's what we got on tap for this week. Jess, what is going on in your world now that we've gotten past the manifestation trip for Ghost Stories Inc?
Oh my goodness. I'm just chilling for a little bit. I don't have any events on the calendar quite yet. I've got a couple books you could buy if you'd like.
Couple, yeah.
Come join me in TikTok. I'm dying for more TikTok followers.
Oh, well, tell people where you're at on TikTok. What's your handle?
I think it's,
Is it Jessica
don't even
Freeburg
know.
Writes? Is that what it is?
I think it is. Yeah. Jessica Freeburg writes. Yeah.
Okay.
And we just did a really fun dance at the Palmer House with some of the attendees all dressed up. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. You can check it out either on your TikTok, which is Jessica Freeburg Writes, or on your Instagram as well. It was on there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just find me on places. Let's get to know each other. Let's be friends.
That's right. That's right. So, but yeah, so check out Jess on social media, and also maybe I'll try to grab your TikTok handle and put it up in the description of the program so people can find you there. And then again, tomorrow on the show, Supernatural News, and then later on in the week, we'll be exploring your mind and your psychic mind at that.
Ooh, that sounds so fun.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff coming up this month, this beginning of the year. And we just keep rolling, man. Just keep rolling with new and exciting stuff. So that's what's going on here. So that'll do it for today's show. For Jessica Freeburg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for continuing to listen to the big program. And we will see you tomorrow for Darkness Radio. And thank you for listening to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.
For more audio and video archives of True Crime Tuesday, intriguing content, and cool swag, check out darknessradioshow.com. Thank you for watching. And tune in tomorrow for Supernatural News and Para Share with Mally Fox.